EMDR at a glance. EMDR uses alternating bilateral stimulation to facilitate processing of traumatic memories. Alternating bilateral stimulation is any kind of stimulation that moves back and forth from one side to the other. These kinetic balls demonstrate visual bilateral stimulation. Other forms of bilateral stimulation include sounds or tapping that moves from one side to the other. BLS is used while the person simultaneously pays attention to inner experiences like emotions, thoughts, images, body sensations, and inner dialogue. Paying attention to two things at once like this is called dual attention. During short periods of dual attention, the person is asked to observe these inner experiences mindfully, without analyzing or judging, just being curious. Dual attention activates certain parts of the brain while engaging neural networks, otherwise known as traumatic memories or states of distress or disturbance. These states or memories can become stuck or frozen in the exact form they were when the memory was formed, which is why they repeatedly get triggered by ongoing life situations. Accidents, illnesses, losses, and abuse can remain in such stuck form. The network loaded with disturbance is selected and specific elements are identified: an image, a negative belief, and a feeling. The location of the negative feeling is found in the body. Then a 0 to 10 measurement is made by the person of how disturbing the state feels right now. This is called subjective units of disturbance, or SUD. The person is then asked if there are any realistic positive beliefs they would rather hold than the negative one attached to the memory. While the disturbing memory is held in mind, the person is asked to measure how true the positive belief feels before the processing. This is measured from 1 to 7 and is called validity of cognition, or VOC. So, for example, a person has a disturbing memory in which his father is yelling at him. The image is that he's sitting on a stool and his father is behind him, standing over him and yelling at him. The negative belief is, I am bad. There is a feeling of shame. And in his body, he can feel this in his throat and his stomach. He measures how disturbing this is to him right now, and it's a 7 out of 10. We ask him for a positive thought that he would rather believe about himself when he thinks about this memory. He says, I'm a good person. We measure how true that feels to him now before we start the processing, and it is a 2 out of 7. Now we just ask him to notice mindfully the memory with the feelings, thoughts, and images, starting with the ones that he described, while at the same time we provide alternating bilateral stimulation. At the end of perhaps 30 seconds of this alternating bilateral stimulation and dual attention, we stop and ask the person to take a deep breath and ask him, what did you notice? He reports whatever it is that he noticed, and that becomes the starting point for the next set of 30 seconds of bilateral stimulation and dual attention. Typically, the person's inner experience shifts and changes from set to set. The processing results in desensitization. That means the subjective units of disturbance ultimately is reduced to 0. And when we ask about the positive cognition and how true it feels, has usually risen. If it is not all the way to a 7, we can do what is called installation. Installation is applying sets of BLS while internally saying the positive belief, which usually has the effect of increasing the VOC to 7. Often, additional positive beliefs will occur to the person, and these all are installed with sets of BLS. This is how we know the processing is complete. After installation, we ask the person to scan their body for any remaining uncomfortable feelings, even the slightest, anywhere in their body. This is called the body scan. Anything that is found in this manner is also processed with sets of BLS until there is a clear body scan. The phases of EMDR described are always preceded by taking a thorough history, treatment planning, and any necessary preparation the client may need before the processing takes place. Following the body scan, or at any point where a session is ending, the EMDR therapist helps the client close the session safely, and processing may resume in the following session after reevaluating the client's response to the processing in the prior session. For more information about EMDR or to find a qualified EMDR therapist, go to emdria.org.